2011, 23 of July, North London, the United Kingdom. Amy Winehouse, the most extraordinary and talented woman jazz music had ever seen, was found dead in her home. The whole world was in shock, and Amy was only 27 years old. The ousted queen of jazz music, Amy Winehouse, whom we commemorate today on the 11th anniversary of her death, was born on September 14 in 1983 in Southgate, London, as the second child of a Jewish family. Her father was a taxi driver and her mother was a pharmacist. It was not only wealth family. Therefore, she didn't have the power to get everything she wanted. She spent her childhood with playing games with her older brother Alex Winehouse. But Amy's biggest talent from an early age was music and theater. Amy went to a theater with the advice of her grandmother. Also attended the Jewish school and received her religious education in this way. Amy, who was getting older than entering adolescence, was beginning to discover her talent for music. Amy spent her teenage years listening to famous jazz artists such as Frank Sinatra and Tony Bennett. And then she started a rap group with her close friends when she was only 10 years old. In fact, Amy was a refugee child. Her maternal grandparents were Jews who had fled from Poland and Belarus. This had a huge impact on Amy. From an early age, she was melancholic, emotional, and rebellious. The place where this emotional and rebelliousness was expressed was in her songs. Amy, who started writing her songs at the age of 10, and then she signed her first album contract at the age of 16 to become Amy Winehouse. And finally, Amy Winehouse released her debut album Frank in 2003. And started to be recognized by many audiences in the United Kingdom and gained considerable popularity. But at the same time, events that would radically change Amy's life continued to occur in her private life. Amy, who was preparing for the new album recording 3 years after her first album, met Blake Fielder at the time. Deeply in love with this man who would turn her life upside down and even cause her death. Amy was feeling so extreme that she started using bad substances just to be loved by this man, trying to be like him and just to be loved more. But the blows that would destroy Amy, one after the other, were beginning to come, and this is not a surprise. Blake Fielder dumped Amy and turned it to his ex-girlfriend, and Amy fell into a mental and psychological depression. Amy only drank and stopped eating and drinking, had visibly lost weight during this period. At the same time, Amy had to continue working on album, brought the most beautiful song written to the worst man in the world into our lives. Back to Black. This song, written after Blake left Amy, was the song that made Amy Winehouse known to the whole world. With the release of the album, Amy Winehouse had an earthquake effect all over the world. Back to Black was on the top of the world music charts. Amy was faced with the celebrity she never wanted. Blake Fielder, on the other hand, took advantage of the Amy's fame and returned to Amy. With Blake returning to Amy, the number one focused on the paparazzi. In this overwhelmed by this fame, her turbulent relationship with the Blake is constantly in the news, making it impossible for her to even take a step. And Amy Winehouse, who is very fond of freedom, is also very irritable towards the paparazzi who restrict freedom. And during this period, Amy's look is getting worse and worse. Amy is melting day by day, becomes a bulimia patience beside her various addictions. And Amy decided to go into rehab to fight off all this. And then Amy gets a divorce from a Blake in 2009, after Blake was imprisoned for the dark deeds. After this incident, nothing is going well for Amy. Amy is almost depressed and isolates herself from the whole world, is often caught in the lenses in very bad situation. Unfortunately, this girl, who has very few friends, leaves her friends alone in this process. The reason for this was that Amy had been too much into alcohol, drugs and cigarettes lately and didn't listen to her friends. Amy had dropped to 40 kilos during this period. The label company that pressed Amy about the making new music was afraid that Amy would be forgotten at the height of her career. Amy wrote a few new songs during this period. Could perhaps make a song like Back to Black again, because she wrote these songs at her worst moment, when Blake left her. But there was a difference. Amy was no longer able to think clearly. She wasn't living well. She was well aware that she had more serious problems than Blake. That's why she decided to go to rehab again. After the current period of time, she came out in 2011 and started her music again. In this process, she gained weight, her body recovered, and she looked quite healthy. But there was only one problem. The doctor's condition for Amy was that she wouldn't to use an alcohol and drugs again. Because in this process, Amy's heart had weakened and so much that she needed a long time to recover. Amy really followed this rule and largely stopped using the substances. Amy was often couched in the lenses during in this process, looked healthy and calm. Under pressure from the record label, Amy announced that she would return music and going a tour. Amy started the tour after gathering all her energy, almost returned to beginning and even worse. With the concert she gave in Belgrade, the capital of Serbia. Amy took the stage under the influence of alcohol and drugs. Couldn't sing any song properly. She was booed by the audience and cried on the stage. Even today, when I look this video, I say, why are they forcing this girl to do something she doesn't like? It hurts me. It really hurts me and my heart every time I watch it. Amy was taken off the stage in Belgrade, is on her way to next stop, Istanbul, Turkey. While the whole world was talking about the videos from this concert, but Amy was trying to relax by taking a vacation in one of the most luxurious hotels in Istanbul. But unfortunately, due to the fear that the same situation will happen in Istanbul, the organizing company cancels the tour and pays all the tickets to the people. At the same time, Amy, whose health condition was getting worse and worse, returned to London for the last time from Turkey. And the last country she visited was Turkey when she alive. During this time, she still stays away from the alcohol and substances. This good course of Amy, who looks good in lenses again, unfortunately lasts until July. 23 July of 2011. Camden Town, London, the United Kingdom. Amy Jade Winehouse was found dead in her home at London, just 27 years old. The whole world was in shock. Although everyone knew how bad she was, but no one expected such an early death. The cause of death could be determined at the initial examination. It was stated that Amy was found half naked on her bed in prone position. There were no wounds on her body. As the result of autopsy, it was announced that Amy's heart stopped due to alcohol. His little body just couldn't take it. She passed away when she was only 27 years old as a member of 27's Club. The reason why she was so popular even 11 years after her death was legendary voice and songs, but as well as being a member of the 27's Club. This also made Amy's death mysterious. But the truth is, Amy died at young age for a man who didn't deserve it. If she hadn't met that man, maybe we wouldn't have known Amy Winehouse because she wouldn't could do Back to Black. But who knows what songs and beautiful projects she would have made. If Amy hadn't died, 38 years old young woman today, perhaps a mother, because one of the things she wanted most was to be a mother, because one of the things she wanted most was to be a woman. Amy Winehouse, although I don't know where she is going. But I know one thing, she actually never left this world and she won't. Thanks for watching.